one of my mentors is called Gibrons, and he says that reading one book can save you 5 years. This is a quote by Albert Einstein. And he says that the thinking that has brought you to where you are is not the same thinking that will take you to where you want to go. And you know, there's a quote that says that in Kenya right now, relationships are like exams. When like people don't understand what's going on, they start cheating.
You must learn a new way to think to master a new way to be. A quote by Marianne Williamson. Hi everyone, welcome to the very first episode of In Out, a podcast where transformation isn't just a goal, but a way of being. Here we dive deep into the art of becoming by embracing holistic wellness, understanding ourselves on a deeper level, and moving with intention. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be your host, Kendi Dumba, the Walk host. And on today's conversation, we have a guest with us, and he will take us through his own journey of becoming, and I hope by you listening to this conversation, you'll be able to pick up some things to help you add on to your journey of becoming, learn more, and also stay entertained. So our guest for today is a young man, an accountant by profession, an entrepreneur. He's the CEO of Blockchain Kenya, a crypto exchange and crypto trading company, who has immersed quite a lot by observing different aspects of wellness. We've now managed to trade close to half a billion Kenya shillings. So with us today is Mr. John Njoroge Maina, and we're going to have a conversation with him. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Welcome.
Yes.
Maybe you can start by telling us something about yourself.
All right. So who am I? What do I do? Who am I? It's because most people now confused who they are, what they do. You're not what you do. You're just who you
apart
are.
From this formal introduction, who would you say you are?
As an individual, I consider myself a student of life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always trying to learn how to be happy, how to serve, how to grow, how to love. So that's basically who I am as an individual.
How was it growing up for you? And before we launch that part of the conversation, can you debunk for us one myth about wellness?
One myth about wellness. One myth about wellness that I have personally got myself to. Even I've also gotten into that trap is the trap of self-care. Mm-hmm. So what self-care? Most people identify self-care as, I go and treat myself to food, I go treat myself to a certain product or a certain service that I cannot afford on a regular basis. So for me, self-care is not that, and I believe that is an ideology that has been propelled into our brains by capitalism.
What would you say for sure is self-care?
Self-care is actually taking care of yourself. So assume you're a car, assume let's say you're a Vitz. Okay. Let's assume you're a Vitz.
Okay.
Yeah, you have an issue with the oil, you have an issue with the cars, you have an issue with the tires, you have an issue with, the brakes. So what is self-care to the car? Mm-hmm. Is it taking the car out to a road that it has never driven before? Mm-hmm. Is it buying speakers for the car? Kuinunulia screens na kuipaka rangi but haina hiyo shida. So self-care is actually fixing the problem. That is taking care of the car so that it can run more efficiently and more effectively. So self-care to me is what are some of the things that I need to do as a person to ensure that my life is running more efficiently and more effectively.
So fixing and maintaining.
Fixing and maintaining.
So when it comes to
yes. So your life. So self-care basically is what are some of the things that you have a challenge with emotionally? What are some of the things that you have challenge with financially, physically? Fix them.
Okay.
That's
so
self-care.
Understanding your needs.
Yes.
Addressing them and maintaining the tempo to have a quality life.
Very true.
Okay, so take us back. How was it for you growing up?
All right. So John is an individual who was grown up in Umoja, Eastlands area. Grew up in a middle class family where we had what we needed. We didn't have too much and we didn't have too little. So growing up was It was fun. Can't say it was not fun. Ilikuwa fun. I enjoyed my family.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the company. I enjoyed my friends. But also had some childhood challenges. And one of the few challenges that I had with my childhood is my relationship with masculinity. I always tell people I was the last boda when I was growing up. So every kid in the block will beat me up or used to get bullied.
You say last what?
Last boda.
What does that mean?
First boda ni ule mtu anapiga kila mtu.
Oh.
It was like, tu vijana, as men tu tunapima na nguvu. We used to be,
Why boda?
we could fight. I don't know, first boda, not boda ya nduthi. So ilikuwa ni first body.
I actually thought ni boarding ya shule, but
no, first boda ilikuwa ni first body. So when you got the biggest body, so kuna first body. So ilikuwa first body, then it transitioned to first boda.
oh, okay.
So there was first boda, second boda, third boda, fourth boda, and last boda.
So you were the last boda?
Ma was the last boda bana.
I'm so sorry for that.
Like unanyoroshwa na mtu bana. Even you can't fight even girls bana. Juno ogopa sasa utaingizwa sasa kwa maboda za the ladies. Utatolewa ligi ya men upelekwe ligi ya ladies.
But focusing on that and being very authentic about it, how did that make you feel as a child?
I think it really tampered with my relationship with masculinity at a young age. Can't say it's something that I've really overcome up to now, but it's basically something that I'm constantly working on. Trying to build a very positive relationship with my understanding to masculinity, what it means to be a man, and having a space in masculine spaces, being confident in masculine spaces. That's something I'm currently trying to work on. And also growing up as a kid, I never really stood out in any shape or form. Be it intellectually, I was not the smartest in class. I was not good at anything growing up that much. So those are some of the challenges that I faced.
So what do you think triggered this? Is it that growing up you didn't see people who showed up in the true masculinity as you would have wanted that to look like for you? Or what really caused that, you being this timid young person who is seen as weak?
I think ideally it was just growing up in a toxic environment, because you don't want to have a kid who's fighting. Imagine having a 7-year-old mzee mwenye anatandikana kwa hivyo ananyorosha kila mtu. That means there's something wrong with the child. Ideally a child when they're born, they're prone to peace, harmony, not wanting to cause violence. They actually want to please everyone. You know. So I guess I grew up in an environment where I was all tough and rough. And I was not that rough and tough, especially physically.
Why? Or was it because you feared you would?
I think I had there are two types of lacks. As I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about the two types of lacks. There's the lack that you're born with, an act of God, where you're born in a rich family, where you're born with, some masculine features. We know that there's some kids wenye kikatoi kanatoka kika kamluji yani kamistunya. So naturally kakona ability ya kunyorosha kila mse. The kids were naturally born smart. And that gives them a certain advantage in their childhood. So for me, I grew up with several lacks. Like I had my fair share of lack. One of them was family. Grew up in a really beautiful family where there was love. There was a lot of emotional stability in the family. But on the flip side of it, I think it was just I didn't have that lack in that side. Like being smart, being really smart as a child, being really, being physically, because as a child, ni mwili, and I was kind of skinny. Kadogo. So nini watu nase. Yeah.
Okay, so that's quite challenging for a young person, especially a male.
Yes.
Yeah, and we will get back to your story of growing up and all that, but diving deep into now the meaty part of our conversation today, your journey of becoming and your interaction with wellness. What first triggered that? We shall go back to your story of your younger version.
All right. Yeah. What triggered my wellness journey? The belief that there's something more to life than what I currently have. So my journey of wellness and growth started when it was after campus. I did some jobs that were paying very poorly. And after that, me and one of my very good friends, we started, just trying to be very inquisitive, and we tried to just question our earnings, question if there's more to life than what we really had. So I remember me and my friend, we used to beat. So one of us were living in Umoja. So we used to meet and we decided, we're going to try and do Forex trading. And we went online to go on a Forex traders one hour ball. And we were like, what? Kumbe wasiwanaweza believe. And if wasiwanaweza believe, sisi tunaweza believe. So we started dreaming, fantasizing of how we become Forex traders, we'll make money, we'll be rich, we'll be this, we'll be that. Okay, up to now, but tutafika mahali tulikuwa tunafikiria tutafika. But we've had a good taste of that, of your kuomoka. So that's how my journey started. And there's this quote by The Alchemist. It's in The Alchemist. When
you want something so bad, the universe conspires to help you achieve it.
When you want something so bad, the universe conspires to help you achieve it.
Yeah.
So this is something I usually say, that in order for anything to manifest physically, it first must manifest spiritually. And one of the core things that we were doing then, but we did not know, there's something called unconscious competence. Unconscious competence, these are things that you're good at, but you're not aware you're good at. Or these are some of the good things that you do and you're not aware. So anytime I and my friend would meet, and we were doing it daily for like a whole 3 months, we will meet and speak of how our lives will be amazing. Little did we know, we are creating a certain spiritual momentum of abundance into our lives. So through that now, the universe started directing us into that direction. And through God's grace, I remember there was one time, nilikuwa naenda kufungua bank account. No journey universe usaidia mse. So as I was opening the bank account, I'm opening the bank account, and the guy asked me, so you're opening the bank account for what? He told me, I really want to get into Forex trading. And the guy was like, oh, you want to get, I also do Forex trading. I was like, what? And then he advised me, he gave me certain sites to go and visit. He told me to go and watch a certain channel on YouTube, and that was a game changer for me and my friend. And after that, everything else was history, because that guy was speaking about in Forex trading, there's something called trading psychology. And under trading psychology, there's something called emotional intelligence. So he recommended us to read some books on emotional intelligence. So I started reading those books. And after I started reading those books, that's when my insight eye was open. So I believe you have two types of eyes. The eyes that we used to see, and the eyes that we use to capture and recognize opportunities that come our way. That is insight. Yeah.
So we conclude that that's a phase that one has to embrace in the journey of
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So moving on, you've talked about now you're thinking of, and now you've started a journey with books. How was it for you?
So now what happens is, immediately we started having all these trips, then we started following a certain person on YouTube, and he was teaching about Forex, and we start following through, and he starts speaking about books. And funny enough, as he's speaking about books, my mom also introduces the concept of reading books to me. And by then my bro was employed, so my mom had him chocha, and my bro bought a number of books. One of the best books that I read is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. One of my mentors is called Jim Rohns, and he says that reading one book can save you 5 years. And when I read that book, my mind literally, it opened up. In life, we are told that we can see by two things. We can see by sight, and we can see by insight. And the insight eye has to be cultivated. And how can you cultivate the inside eye? By reading. We need to constantly feed ourselves with information. So I got into that phase where I was reading 3 books in a month. And I was able to have an understanding of what life is and have an understanding of what finance is. One of the greatest people I've listened to is Dan Pena, and he was saying that if you really want to be successful, you need to study success. So I got into a phase where I studied success in every field. Happiness is an art, study it. Making money is an art, study making money. Being physically fit is an art, study it. Having conversation is an art, study it.
What are the major aspects of wellness that you have observed in order to be the person that you are today?
What are the major parts of it? That's a really
From
good question.
spiritual wellness, economic
That's
wellness,
a really
physical
good
wellness,
that's a really good question. One of the main aspects of wellness that I genuinely feel that we need to have is self-awareness. That is where it all begins. Because if you don't understand yourself, and just remember the quote that I told you, there's another great book that I was reading. It's called The Miseducation of the Negro. It was a book that was written in 1879 by a guy called Carter G. Woodson. And one of the first quotes that he has in the first chapter, this guy is writing and he's saying that if you want to control if you control a man's mind, you don't have to worry about his actions. So what I generally think is the idea of even thinking about self-awareness is something that you were not brought up thinking, or even we were not brought up thinking that there's something like self-awareness. And then there's this funny quote where people are told, "Manzi unajipenda sana, unashindanga tu kujifikiria," especially in this Kenyan setup, of which I usually feel it is so wrong. Because first, you need to kujifikiria. You need kujijua, you need kujipenda before you penda someone else. So for me, the cradle point of wellness is self-awareness. First, you need to understand who are you. And away from understanding who you are, the art of even understanding who you are. So how do you get to understand who you are? This changed my life, guys. This literally changed my life. You need to treat yourself as someone that you're in a relationship with. So you say amen, hallelujah. Like you need to treat yourself like someone you're in a relationship with. That's how you understand yourself. So let's assume we are in a relationship. Hallelujah. So if you're my girlfriend, first, and I'm dating you, senior, and I'm dating you. In order for me, ni kuingize box, first lazima nijue, what does Candy like? And one, I also need to spend a lot of time with you in order for me to know what you like. So point number one, let's have people spend time with themselves. Let's detach from the world. I don't know if it's in the book of James. I'm not very well versed with the Bible, the verses, but I have the content. It says that you're not of this, be of the world, but not of this world.
Yes.
Be of the world, but not of this world.
Yes.
Yes. So be of the world, but not of this world. Not of this world is basically, you need to sit down and detach yourself from social media. Detach yourself from the ideologies that people, especially people in your generation, have. That young people should do this, young people should go here, young people should detach na hiyo. Allow yourself to exist in a space of solitude. There is a verse in the Bible that says, that says that it's in Psalms. I don't know if it's David who's writing this, and he's saying that my soul waits for the Lord in silence. And one of the aspects that are in silence is solitude. Even if you are here, tuko kwa room sisi wote, but we are silent, there is some level of solitude that you experience. Right? So solitude is one of the key ways of knowing yourself and spending time with yourself. Okay? So let's assume it's a relationship. Okay? So if you want to know someone, spend time with them. That's solitude. Number two, have conversations with them. So as young people, you need to start talking to ourselves. I literally talk to myself. I ask myself, what do I really want? Who am I? That's a question that I've been asking myself so much. I'm writing a lot. There's some people who spend time with themselves by communicating with themselves. Like, develop a communication channel with yourself and understand what is the best channel that you can get to communicate with yourself. The ladies if you're dating them, if I'm dating you, Candy, probably unapendaga kuchat but upendagi calls. Kuna dem mwingine anapendaga calls but hapendi kuchat. Kuna mwenye hapendi calls, hapendi chats, anapendaga kulink up physically. So you need to understand what is my own personal self-communication channel. For me, it's journaling. It's being in a creative mindset. When I'm in a creative mindset, if I'm writing poetry, I'm trying to design something, I'm trying to solve a problem creatively, I get to spend a lot of time with myself. So understand what is your communication channel. That will breed a lot of self-awareness.
Mastering the concept of self.
Mastering the concept of self.
Okay, another aspect of wellness that you've been able to observe to who you are?
Yes, another aspect of wellness is a concept by Joe Dispenza. And now Joe Dispenza speaks about something called metacognition. What is metacognition? Metacognition is it's still in line with self-awareness, but now it's not even, it's now the opposite side of it. Now it's basically what your podcast is called in is self-awareness. Out kidogo is metacognition. Metacognition is basically where you sit down, mimi kama Njoro najieka hapa alafu naanza kujiobserve. And a lot of the observation lies in emotions. So another aspect of wellness is understanding emotions. Understanding, I still feel like it's still in line with self-awareness.
Yeah.
But there's knowing what you want, knowing who you are, and then not having a deeper understanding of your emotions and developing a relationship with your emotions. Like this year, one of my goals is developing a healthy relationship with anger and frustration. So I'm really trying to understand, how does anger affect me? How do I get to be triggered to become angry, to become frustrated, or to become disappointed? So another aspect that I can say is just being aware of your emotions. I don't know if it's Robert Kiyosaki who said this in Rich Dad Poor Dad. He said that life is 10% what happens to you, and it's 90% how you feel. So another aspect that can come in line with wellness is just understanding how you feel and what's your relationship with these feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is so nice. Okay, when we're talking about holistic wellness, it involves very different aspects. There are so many different aspects of it. We have spiritually, economically, physically. And I would like to ask you a question. I feel like, this is my own opinion on this, I feel like people have idolized the art of becoming. And now we are drawn more into perfectionism than just being, and even embracing steady progress. Everyone is looking to be the best based on on the standards that the society has set. So what has your journey been when you're talking of becoming? What are those milestones that you remember for you, however simple or complex they are, that means something for your journey of becoming? And just to try and bring out, was it really a perfect journey, or what was involved and what were the milestones?
One milestone. There's a guy called Les Brown. Oh my God. Les Brown says that the hardest thing for me was not making $1 million. The hardest thing for me was believing that I could make $1 million. Okay. So one of the key milestones that I have, or that I've had in my wellness journey, financially, we can handle that one because it's still part of holistic wellness. We've handled a bit of self-awareness, a bit of emotion. So that's emotional, also spiritual. Financially, one of the greatest milestones for me was knowing that I can actually get to deserve more. And I can actually get to achieve more and more. Let me tell you something funny. And this is something that usually happens to us when we're growing in Eastlands. As young people, tunakuwaga na a lot of luck. So umegrow Eastlando, hamna do, hamnaga do, na mnaishiki kuona wase wengine ndo wako na do. So you start building this belief system in your mind, and then let me tell you, and I don't know if I've shared this with you, when we were young, tulikuwa tunabeba venye si uvaa nguo cheap. Me, I remember when I was with a friend of mine, tulikuwa katika chini na like, yo bro, hizi viatu za 30 bob. Like, what? Ni za 30? And I'm like, it should be 10 bob. Wow. And you're like, what? You're the guy who got a connection. So me, you're just trying to make life as cheap as possible, and then you're celebrating the cheapness. Like it when you're conditioning mbaya sana. For me, when I was young, mazeni ilikuwa stingy.
Did that kind of environment stir up in you scarcity mindset?
That's it. That's the word. Scarcity mentality. So I had a lot of scarcity mentality. Started reading books. And I understood, my insight eye got open. And I realized, hey, but then Njoroge, there's some ideologies, but then that you need to let go of. You know, the idea that money pesa ni kidogo, the idea that unafaa spend pesa kidogo, and the less you're spending, the more efficient or more better of a person you are. So I had to let go of that. And I reached what Robert Kiyosaki says, that a poor man says that I cannot buy that thing, I cannot buy that car, I cannot buy that a watch. But a rich man asks himself, how can I afford it? So for me, when I started changing or asking myself different questions of how can I afford it, how can I earn more, that's when my life started transforming, because after COVID, we came back to Nairobi, and after coming back to Nairobi, me and my 3 friends came together. We started a company called Zamazetu Events, and within the first 3 months, we had done sales close to $500,000. Now only time COVID. So I'm handling checks half a name, and this is a guy pre-COVID kunipata tu manzeto na punch imeshikana. Mi punch zangu zilikuwa gaza coins. Punch zangu I remember there was a time I was like so broke design. Mother kinituma nilikuwa na save gizo mbao. So you're walking in town, nikawe ni producer flat because utemani nikawe fungia mchingo kwa mfuko because ukimekisema so coming out here, I remember the first paycheck that we got, a certain Indian guy at Zamazetu, he paid us $125,000 for 2 days worth of work. So tumepiga jobs kumbili. Upantre amekama amenipatia check. Ameniambia Njoroge, take this, you can bank it in. Alinipatia check, ilikuwa $125,000, and I was like, for 2 days. And all my life nili grow up nikijua unafupiga hustle wanrwade. Tungepiga shughuli. Remember there was a time tulitoka Nairobi, tukenda Kisumu. I came back home, I had like 300 shillings. After like a whole 2 days, na mimi nilikuwa najua gado patikana ni hard na do patikana. So one of my key milestones on holistic wellness was seeing that I can earn more, seeing that I can get more.
Yeah, so what I'm getting, and this is very profound for everyone who is listening,
yeah,
you first had to believe
yes
that you can achieve.
Yes.
And now move towards doing what is necessary
yes
to get.
Yes.
So that's very crucial
yes
when someone wants to meet a higher version of themselves.
Yes.
So yes, another milestone.
One of the milestones was a heartbreak. Let me say a heartbreak. And there's a quote that says that you need to grow through what you go through. So I'm 24 years old by that time, and nimeachwa. Nimetandikwa na heartbreak.
Okay, umeachwa na nani?
Nilikuwa nimeachwa na mtu wangu.
Okay, someone you were dating?
It's someone I was dating back then. And you know, there's a quote that says that in Kenya right now, relationships are like exams. When like people don't understand what's going on, they start cheating. It's a good joke. Naona crew wanacheka.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Crew ameisha. So my relationship became an exam and someone started cheating. Because ni sawa tu. Little did I know that I was the lecturer. But anyway. After I got heartbroken, I realized that no single human being on this earth will ever make me happy.
Yeah.
No single human being on this earth will ever, there's a quote that says, be yourself because everyone else is taken. So one of the key milestones that happened for me was studying the art of self-love.
Okay.
Understanding that I'm the only person who can love me the way I want to be loved. Not even your mom can love you the way you want to be loved. And that's one of the people on earth who are always there for you. But when you are a child, si nilikuwa nimekosana na mama. Si nilikuwa na feel mom ni kama hakutaki. Unaget? But do you ever sit down and think that we can actually get to love ourselves? So one of the key milestones that I experienced for myself is understanding the art of self-love, loving myself. How do I love myself? What's my definition of love? So I got to sit down and write down what's my definition of self-love. What do I want? So I constantly started giving myself what I want. If I want to become confident, how do I become confident? Confident equals competence. So I started becoming competent in certain aspects of my life. That is in business, in knowledge, and in whatnot. So self-love was another key milestone for me, and it has had a ripple effect on not only my life, but the lives of the people who are close to me.
Has that also contributed to you having confidence in your abilities?
Yes, definitely. It's basically there's something called the compounding effect of life or experiences. So niaka kitu kadogo, you build on another, you start with self-awareness, self-love, being aware of your emotions. Kidogo umeanza kupata checks tunaingiza pesa mzuri. So that building up ilinjenga ka confidence flani. Yeah.
Just to take you back to a story when you were young.
Yeah.
What would you tell that version of yourself that never thought were enough or were good at anything? Because looking at you right now and the story that you're giving, with what you've been able to immerse, what would you tell that younger version of yourself?
Let me just say this. I do have,
It's okay.
And there's a quote that says that greatness and insanity are next door neighbors. Greatness and insanity are
next door neighbors.
So I think my younger self, what I would tell them is, and I do tell them that, I do tell them that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that whatever you've gone through or whatever is happening to your life is not what you wanted. It's okay. You're not rich, Mazi, it's okay. You don't feel you're masculine enough, it's okay. You don't feel like things are adding up, you're not the best in your space, it's okay. So what I usually tell my younger self is, it's okay, Mazi. No sijali, because we've kind of made it out. Yes.
Okay, so as we conclude this conversation, what I've captured for myself is a lot of self-mastery, intentionality, and putting in the work, actively putting in the work. And for everyone who might feel, this journey is becoming hectic, what's that one challenge, just one challenge that you're facing at this phase of your life? Because the journey of becoming, it's a continuous journey till death.
Yeah.
So in this phase of your life, when you're talking about the art of becoming, what challenge are you grappling with at the moment?
The challenge that I'm grappling with right now is redefining my authentic and redefining who I need to become to go to the next level. So these are quotes. I don't want to misquote someone, but I think there's a quote by Albert Einstein.
Okay.
And he says that the thinking that has brought you to where you are is not the same thinking that will take you to where you want to go.
You need to be a different person.
You need to become
for
every season. Jim Rohn says that every opportunity comes with an equal challenge.
Okay.
So some of the opportunities that I've been able to attract into my life have come with an equal challenge to them. And I think currently there's some challenges that I'm facing right now in life, especially by the fact that I currently have employees. I'm running like 2 businesses.
That's nice.
I'm also employed. I have so many things to deal with. So some of the challenges that are coming my way, zile challenges that time tulikuwa tumesota, like tulikuwa na 200 bob, Now, one of the challenges that I'm facing is who do I need to become next? Who do I need to become next? And this is what basically I can say. You see, in life, we are taught to become the best, but we're never taught how to maintain being the best.
Okay.
People are told, if you want to make it, work hard. If you want to make it, be disciplined. If you want to make it, do this. But then when you make it, we are never told these are the things that actually sustain you in making it. So, for me, sustaining what I've amassed and also expose myself to even attracting even more the person that I have to become That's the new authentic that I'm currently chasing, and there is akapush and pull kidogo.
Okay, so your conversation is the conversation you've had is really rich and intense. But since we are running out of time, probably a conclusion to this conversation. Just why do you still want to keep becoming?
Because that's everything that there is for man. Tom Bilyeu, one of the few people I listen to, very smart guy, go and listen to Tom Bilyeu, Impact Theory. And he says that human beings are problem-solving machines. Human beings, we were designed to solve problems. So for me, what keeps me going is the thought and the idea that there's a problem that I'm facing in life, there's a problem that humanity is facing in life, and it needs to be solved. And I need to be the guy solving it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joan, for the
Always a pleasure.
And to your viewers, I hope that this conversation was valuable to you and you were able to learn one or two things, and probably it relates with some of you and encourages you to keep becoming. So until the next episode, if this episode was of value to you, kindly share, subscribe, comment, and also join this community and suggest things that we could speak about on this set. Until the next one, goodbye.